talk to my attorney. Welcome back to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Um, so before I was interrupted, um, we were talking about trauma and the types of trauma that there are, and how you respond to said trauma. Um, some people's emotional response to trauma is isolation. Other people respond with fear. Other people respond with violence. Other people respond with aggression. Some people are passive. Um, some people remove themselves from the situation. Some people have emotional breakdowns where they're crying or um, they shut down. You ever met those stoic people? You're just like, how are you even still standing after what you've been through? You know what I mean? Um, how do we manage it all? If you've ever had trauma, I invite you to share it. You don't have to give me your deep, dark secrets, but I invite you to share it. And also how you responded to it. And earlier when I was on here, I was talking about how do you deal with rejection? So you think she cute, but she not with it. You calling her a bitch? You going home and sulking about it? You crying? You gonna keep trying? Or are you gonna feel rejected and fall back and be like, well, she doesn't want me. It is what it is. Are you gonna find out if you're willing to do what it takes to make that person want you? Because I'm just gonna show up as is. You either want me or you don't. Period. No, I'm joking. Sometimes you have to work for it. Sometimes you do. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to straighten up your life. Sometimes you got to be on the same page. Sometimes you have to have similar goals, similar interests. But what about if you're being rejected from someone like your parent? That's traumatic. You ever been cussed out as a 3-year-old and then had the mama or the daddy or whoever the grown person was not even apologize? Not only did they not apologize, they didn't even think they was wrong about it. You ever experienced embarrassment and then bullied for that embarrassment? Just saying. You ever experienced a whole lot of trauma and people told you you need to move on? You really need to move forward. You need to move on. I understand that happened to you. I know you had a miscarriage, but you can have another baby. Okay? Some women can't even get pregnant. You ever felt rejected because you went on an interview? They didn't call you back? Or, listen, nowadays, listen, you submit your resume. They say, thank you for your resume. Unfortunately, we've reviewed your information, and although you have an excellent experience, you have, all the credentials, we've decided to go with other candidates. That's rejection. What do you do with that? How do you respond? You cry? You call your husband? You call your wife? You tell your kids? You hide it from everybody? What happens if they pull you into the office and, we're going to have to let you go? You ain't done nothing wrong. You've been here for 22 years. You ain't done nothing wrong. We can't afford you anymore, so we're going to have to let you go. Rejection is tough. You ever find out you were adopted? Did you live through the foster care system? Have you ever worked in the foster care system? That could be traumatic too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. People have been attacked. Have you been attacked because you have a mental illness? Or rejected because you have a mental illness? You ever been rejected because you have a criminal record? You ever finally got that break? Finally got on that job after you did go to jail or prison or convicted of something like that? They finally gave you a job at the UPS. 3 months later, they find out that you have a criminal history. And although you've now signed that lease on that apartment, got you a little, hoop de hoop, so you can get back and forth to work, and now they're terminating you. You ever lost a parent? How you coping with that? You only 22. You ever had to watch somebody die slowly? I feel like there's a gnat or something in here. I swear to y'all, gnats, they have a natural suicide mission. It's like they coming out on your face and then you swatting them away and letting them, letting them live. And they like, you just want to die today. I can't. But thank you guys for tuning in to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Today I want to talk about trauma and rejection and what people do with the trauma and the rejection. How do you respond? Do you respond with anger? Do you pretend it didn't happen? Living in denial? Are you able to express how you felt? How you were hurt? And how you're not over it? And were those people that you expressed it to receptive? Or did they gaslight you? For the people in the back, gaslighting is understanding that something is a certain way and then trying to make the person that's telling you what happened seem or feel like they're crazy. It's like getting punched in the face and then you say, hey, I'm hurt because you punched me in the face. And then they tell you, I mean, I didn't hit you that hard. You didn't have to, respond that way. Or you deserved it. The current thing going on online right now is Cassie deserved that. She need to be in prison with Diddy. After you watched him like legit stomp her out in the hallway. That's what I call secondhand trauma. You wasn't even there. And it's still traumatizing. People gaslighting that lady. How you know she didn't steal from him? That's another form of gaslighting. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about what he did, what we witnessed. And you want to try to change the subject. But anyway, you ever been a victim of sexual assault? Physical violence? You ever witnessed it? Were you a child when, witnessing that type of trauma? Witnessing violence and then witnessing people not have any consequence for that violence? or witnessing people making excuses for that violence? You ever witnessed that violence, became a victim of that violence, and then became a perpetrator of that violence? Bullies typically start at home. Behavior is learned. Not all, but most. People who are typically getting treated well, allowed to speak, allowed to share their feelings and their emotions, aren't usually going to school and bullying people, or a workplace, or wherever it is that the bullying is happening, in your relationship, whatever it is. That's not typically what's going to happen. Typically. You ever got married and found out one day that boy is cheating on you? Got your heart broke? You ever been heartbroken? You ever had any responses to that, like anxiety, fear, anger, depression? You ever been bullied? What's your response to that? Because when people think of bullies, they think generally of children school age being bullied at school. But have you ever been bullied at work? You ever said to someone, "You wasting my time," and then you realize, you know, 2 years later, they didn't waste your time? You may have just made excuses for the behavior. Do you ever hold yourself accountable? Have you felt rejection in your family? Like your mama rejected your daddy, your cousin, your sister? These are the people that are supposed to be your riders. What do you do when that happens? You ever been to therapy? I also wonder too, like, because I do think therapy is looked at from an individual standpoint, but I also feel like it's looked at from a cultural standpoint. I used to watch this show called The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I remember Teresa and her brother. Don't get me started on them. Um, but they didn't want to go to therapy because the way they learned it is, listen, you just work through it. But you don't have the tools that you need to work through it. How you gonna work through it? Those people typically will just end up not working through it and pushing it down and then exploding later. That's usually how that works out. But and how do you handle happiness? Are people happy for you when you're happy? Do they support you in your dreams? Do you feel like it's traumatic or is it trauma if they don't support you? Be careful if you're a giver because takers will take. They don't have boundaries. Do you have boundaries? Have you set those boundaries? And then, if you have set those boundaries, do you follow through with the consequences of setting those boundaries? Or do you continue to allow people to treat you however they want to treat you? Let me know in the chat if you guys think it's traumatic to have um, parents who didn't love you They said they love you, but their actions didn't. Let me know in the chat if you had parents who didn't believe you, who didn't provide you with your needs, safety, love, food, shelter. And then, are you now a parent? Are you providing those needs for your children? Are you making sure that they feel safe and loved and you're providing them with, honesty and protection and teaching them things? And I want to know, I would love for the people in the chat to tell me how many of you feel like you failed, honestly. Or how many of you feel as though you've repeated a cycle somewhere, a toxic one? Or if you feel like you overcame a lot, you can put that in the chat too. If you overcame, you could just put I overcame. I would love for people in the chat too to put whether or not they're honest with themselves about true change, about how they really feel, about unforgiveness, about lying every day, telling people they good and they not. Do you ever lie and say you're good when you're not? Truthfully, is it just me? Because I certainly lied and say, yeah, I'm good. Get in the car crying, okay? Just saying. Mm-hmm. You ever gave somebody 10 chances and they still won't do it right? How long do you let them continue to lie to you, not be accountable to you, and still be have a whole bunch of access to you? And what do you do? And what's the time limit when people have caused you hurt? You put a timeline on it? Do you let it keep going? Do you set boundaries? Do you hold people accountable? Are you a people pleaser? Did you wake up to win? Or did you wake up to just make it through the day? I was speaking to my cousin a few weeks ago, and she was talking about how postpartum depression is real and how, she suffered through it. And a lot of people don't talk about it, or, they try to make you feel bad because you're suffering. Depression is, listen, one of the worst of the things that can make you feel some type of way. And it's worse when people make you feel bad because you're depressed. It happens to people. We have to have a little more compassion and empathy. Just know that what will happen in this life, those tables will turn. Give people what you would want or what they need. In every situation where trauma is happening, even when people have lost their parents and I love them and I'm their friend, I don't need to readily be that person. It's like, oh, what do you need? I don't even ask that anymore. I'll just say, let me know how I can help. Or I'll just say, how can I help? Because a lot of times those people are not going to let you know how you can help because they got 15 other people calling them asking the same thing. So sometimes, I've gone over to their home, have a book, I'm gonna just sit in another room and read. I'm just here for whatever. I don't need to necessarily interact. Sometimes people just want you to be there. Be there. Have you ever needed someone to just be there without asking you questions and trying to talk through it with you because you're just not ready to talk through it? I was reading this. It says, "Be a pretty girl with a pretty heart and a pretty mind with pretty vibes." The next picture in my phone says, "What did I change my mind on this year?" The most successful people realize that finding a truth is more important than being right. They embrace new information and software updates to their brain. What software update did I have? If you can't think of any, it's probably not a good thing. Software updates should be growth. It should be learning something and then adding that to the world. In whatever little way or big way, just whatever works for you. You don't have to eat all of the elephant in one day. You don't. Give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself time to be okay with it, warm up to it, whatever it is. Give yourself time. Time is a commodity, though, and we don't have time to waste it. Every second is another opportunity to change your life. Every single second, and it doesn't matter what situation you're in. Are you taking the opportunities that you have to better yourself? Are you taking the opportunities that you have to grieve? Are you taking the opportunities that you have to love on people that you love? Make time for people that you love? Make time for yourself. You only have one body. You're not getting another one. At least that I know of. So until a human can figure out how to build another human and then insert their brain and who they are, their consciousness, you don't get another one. We don't get a redo on this thing called life. So that's why it's important to understand your trauma, understand how you work through it, how to cope with it, understand that other people have trauma and we shouldn't try to manage their trauma. We all have enough trauma of our own to manage, let's be clear. Okay? But also be understanding and empathetic that you won't understand everything and you won't have answers for everybody. And also, I don't need your answer right now. Maybe I'll catch it next week, next year, next month, whatever it is. But allow that person that time to deal with their rejection, to deal with their trauma, to deal with their fear, to deal with their, feeling like whatever it is that's going on in those people's lives. Allow them space to be vulnerable without feeling like they're, a burden in some way. Or they don't have the right to discuss what's going on with them. And that includes children. As an adult, you're not always right. I'm a Leo. I think I'm always right. And I'm generally right. No, but all jokes aside, I'm not always right. And adults aren't always right. And children aren't always wrong. But I say, listen, I'm going to say this. I always say this. Why are we living as copies when God made us an original? Something doesn't work for you, make a plan, set a goal, and execute. Tell people that they've hurt you. One or two things can happen. Those people could apologize or they could reject you. Sometimes people don't even realize that they've hurt you. And guess what? If you don't let them know, they may never. Some things just don't occur to people. Things that make sense. Things that you're just like, how do you not know? The same way you didn't know something. Whatever it was, until you didn't know. And don't confuse age and maturity. They are two totally separate things. You could be 55 years old still thinking like a 15-year-old. and vice versa. You know, like I say, if you have trauma, and we all do, make sure that you've explored it so that if you are in the baby making age or you want to have kids or you adopt kids or however, whatever it is, that you're able to show up as a whole individual and not a fractured one who's has arrested development. And I'm not saying just because you have arrested development that you have no opportunity for growth. You absolutely do. Every second is another chance to change life, whatever it is. It just is what it is. You just have to want it. You have to execute it by putting a plan into place, a realistic one, a manageable one, an obtainable one. You know, you gotta have support. You want to have support, be supportive. You want to have love, be loving. It's really not that difficult of a concept. But in my opinion, we're getting more and more disconnected by the second. How is it that the 6 month old is already on the iPad? And I'm not judging people that put, have iPads and they're 6 month old or 8 month old or a year old or 6 years old, whatever it is. I'm not judging that. There's a time and a place for all of it. Just like there's a time and a place for you to have some wine, okay? Or kids to have the ice cream, whatever it is, right? Just give people grace. Show yourself to be kind, and people will be kind. Now, I know I'm not an idiot, that there's some people that are just going to be assholes. They just are who they are. But like I said earlier, everything outside of yourself is external, and you have no control over it. Not even your 2 year old. You think you do. You don't have no control if that 2 year old is going to throw a fit. They want to throw a fit. That's probably what's going to happen. You have no control over whether or not they're going to fire you today or tomorrow, next week. You don't. You have zero control over whether or not you're going to graduate from college, high school, elementary, whatever it is. You could put in the work. You could do what you need to do. That doesn't mean you can graduate. You could die before. You could. It's a million things that could happen that could be a barrier to getting there. But there's also a million chances and opportunities to get there. You have to have positive thinking, forward thinking. Everything isn't negative. And sometimes you just have to take a step back and say, am I looking at this the right way? Is there a different way to do this? Could I have done something differently? Did I really have to yell at her? Did I really have to? Did that rise to the occasion of really having to cuss somebody out? Am I still allowing these same people to walk all over me? Or am I going to stand up and have a backbone and say, we're not doing that? Nuh-uh. I know y'all thought that I let y'all get away with that last year, but we ain't doing that this year. Last week even, last hour, we ain't doing it. Everybody has feelings, including the people watching this video or who will watch this video. We all have somebody who loves us, admires us, thinking about us, even people you don't even know. You're not alone in this battle, even if you feel like you are. And if you feel like you're in the dark, turn yourself on. Your whole light. We all light up this world in some way to someone. And let's just start being honest. Do we really love ourselves? Do we love the people that are around us? Do we allow people to walk all over us? Do we stand up when someone's trying to bully us? Do we stand up for others? Are we walking in a circle? Are we still trying to figure out the shit we didn't figure out last year, this year? And look, we already in month 5. Some people still got their Christmas tree up. One of my patients does. Anyway, let them people live. I want to be me, so I want to let you be you, provided being you isn't harmful to others or illegal. So give yourself grace, give others grace. Try to find the sunshine in every single day. Stop making assumptions about others. Ask them. If you love people, tell them. If they're treating you poorly, tell them. Then you have to make some changes in your life, permanent ones. Because takers and people who have complete total disregard for your feelings are looking for people who have no boundaries so that they can continue to take advantage and pounce and do whatever it is that they want to do. But we all have an opportunity to be better. Take it. There's a part of that movie. I love that movie, The Devil Wears Prada, and the girl Emily. You know, whatever's going on in Emily's life, she's trying to not eat but a cheese cube so she can fit in the fashions at the Paris, fashion week, whatever. And she's getting frustrated about her boss being a biatch. Okay, and so she's just like, I love my job, I love my job, I love my job. Like, I laugh at that part every single time because who hasn't sat at their desk or getting ready to take the order at the McDonald's, or you worked at the TSA and you just asked them to take your laptop off for the 1500th time, or whatever. Worked at the Macy's, right? Where you had a moment where you just like, okay, I have to say this to myself. I love my job, I love my job, I love my job. And you hate your job. You hate your boss. What's your emotional response going to be to the trauma that you experienced today? You can set ahead of schedule what you are not and are going to entertain on this day. What do I want my emotional response to be when I get triggered today? Do I want it to be anger? Do I want to yell at people? Do I want to let people walk all over me? Do I want to cry about it? Do I want to go drink a glass of wine? Do I want to isolate myself? Do I want to make a plan for a better tomorrow? Do I want to go home and watch mindless entertainment, take my mind off of it? I'll give y'all this one little nugget that I do. If I'm really feeling down or I'm feeling, unappreciated or rejected, whatever it is, I will watch a comedy. Whether it's a stand up comedy or a comedy movie, if you have a beating heart and a sense of humor, you're going to eventually laugh at something in that movie or video, whatever. And I only allow myself so much time in a day to be mad, angry, frustrated about whatever it is that someone else did to me. I'm not giving you, listen, I won't be giving up that part of my soul. I'm not giving you 3 weeks of my life to sit up here and be mad at you about whatever it is you did that you all ass should apologize for and is never going to apologize for it. I ain't doing that with you. Mm-mm. She's not. Mm-mm. Not giving up that part of my soul for another human being. Won't be happening. That doesn't mean I'm not hurt by it. I'm just not going to allow it to infiltrate the rest of my day, the rest of my week, the rest of my life. I'm just not doing that. That doesn't mean I won't get triggered. That doesn't mean I won't be hurt later. It doesn't mean I won't have a negative response later. It doesn't mean that. It just means I'm not going to live in it. It happened, made me sad, made me frustrated, whatever it is, angry. But I'm only giving you so much of that because I got shit to do. I ain't got time. Part of my shit to do is planning a trip to Greece because that's where I want to go. Take my ass over to Mykonos, sit on the beach, mm-hmm. talk to the Italians. Okay, that's what I want to do. I can't be going to Greece focused on your ass and how rude you were that day. Or how you like. I think I've told this story before, but I remember there was this lady, this company I used to work for, and she sought me out for months, and I was like, look, I'm in school right now. I have all this experience, and I do have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, but I'm working on some other things so I can get licensed to be a therapist, blah blah blah, right? And she was just like, yeah, you'll be able to not come to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays and, go to your internship and blah, blah. And meanwhile, I'm working full time. Yeah, or I wasn't working yet, but I was going to be working full time, but I was in school and I had to do an internship. And she was like, for 2, 3 months, just wanted to hire me. Gave me a great salary because I know my worth. And then um, when the heat turned up and me not being on Tuesdays and Thursdays meant that she had to do things, then it became a problem. And so now you want to say that, oh, you know, we want to terminate her. But this is an agreement you agreed to. You agreed to it. So they got their way. They eventually terminated me and had to pay me, what is it called? Unemployment. Then they tried to fight the unemployment. So before they terminated me, they were like, what did they do? Oh, they put me on paid leave because they was trying to find something because they didn't have anything. You've never written me up. I've never done anything wrong. I'm executing my job on all cylinders. So why am I being terminated? So you gotta cook up something. You gotta find reasons. And I documented, and had everything. So then they won they overturned the what is it called, the unemployment whatever that you were receiving. So they overturned it, and then I was so petty. We went to Dubai, and I sent an email to HR director, everybody in HR, every single person in HR, and I sent it to my ex coworker. I sent it to everybody. I sent the first class flight I was on, the wine I'm drinking, the seat I'm in, like the camel pictures in the desert, the fabulous hotels, like the shopping, all kinds of great photos that me and my husband spent like 18 days in Dubai. Just had a great time. And then I sent them an email. I sent them all an email and I was like, thank you for all the people who plotted and sat over there and lied on me to the TWC people and all the stuff. And then it got re-overturned because they lied and I had proof of it. But I was like, yo, shout out to all my fans. Those are people I call fans. I was like, yo, shout out to all of my fans. Look at what you meant for my bad, but God meant for my good. You terminated me, and I'm still flying first class to Dubai. I don't even have a job. That's how I'm living. That's how I'd be like, sis, I'm winning. She's winning over here. Okay? You did all of that. Y'all conjured up all of this fake, phony, pretend stuff so you could try to get me. I ended up graduating early. I ended up completing my internship early. I got to go spend a wonderful vacation abroad with my husband. I'm in Dubai and you're at home. Listen, my daddy said I'm the daughter of the highest king. So you can do whatever you want to do. But I'll have the last laugh because I treat people right. I try my best. I'm not perfect, obviously. Let me not put that out there. But I treat people with dignity and respect. That's the least you can do. It costs you absolutely nothing. But when you sit around and you plot, please understand, when you plot revenge, to dig two graves. They plotted. They thought they won. Mm-mm. Now I'm making way more money than I ever was making there. Because you tried it. You did. So now you don't have a fabulous employee. You have a person who owns her own, who is steadily climbing and winning. And you have to watch it. I remember, I'm so petty. Then I sent her a gift card for her birthday. Petty. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Some people would be like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give her where is it. No, I'm gonna show you how. What they say, I'm gonna teach you how to stunt. No, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna respond and teach you a little thing or two about how to treat people. Mm-hmm. First drinks on me, girl. Take your little cell phone. Take your little cell phone down to Starbucks and get you a drink, and then use this gift card to go get you a massage at the massage envy because I'm sure you're stressed out. Then I went to Cancun and then I went to Jamaica. Like, let's not play them type of games. I'm the daughter of the highest king. You're not gonna win against my daddy. You can try. And even sometimes your outcomes seem like they're so unsuccessful or that it's just you and you're all alone and how dare these people treat you this way and whatever else. And it's easy to get caught up in that. It really is. What's hard for those people is to see you win after they try to dig a grave for you. What the fuck is going on? There's a gnat. I don't know why. See, I told y'all, gnats got death wishes. I don't understand. They be fighting with all their whole chest out. They fighting. I'm like, just relax. But yeah, I've been on here for 41 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep so I can try to get up tomorrow morning and do some work. I have some more work to do, but I think I'm gonna watch a comedy, and then go to sleep and mind my business. And y'all just enjoy the rest of your day. Tell the people you love that you love them. Um, Make a new goal, learn a new language, make a new meal. But above all, love the people who love you. Respect people, treat people with dignity and respect. It'll come back to you. It will. It really truly will. A lot of people are like, "Well, Chanel, you're so happy all the time and you act like your life is perfect." I'm not acting. I'm not. I'm respecting the process. That I don't need to sit around and be mad all the time about everything that happens to me. I could be, but I make a concerted effort to not be. It takes effort. And you have to have positive self-talk. If you're sitting around every day talking negative, everything's going to look negative. Negative energy and positive energy have the same amount of energy. Someone walks in the room, y'all having a good time, and they walk in, they mad, they got a, whatever on their face. All of a sudden, you like, well, what the fuck? Like, it changes who you are in that moment. It changes the mood, the vibe of the place. Much like if you come into a room, let's say you come into a room full of people who've been to prison, or it don't even have to be that deep, unhappy coworkers, and you come in here and you're all bubbly and whatever else, and you smile and you tell a joke and get people to laugh, it can change the energy. It's the same power. It's how you use it. Are you using it for good or bad? Are you gonna go home and be pissed at your kids and do all this extra, getting at them because you got displaced anger because your boss said some shit you didn't, agree with, or she about to write you up, whatever it is? Or are you gonna say, you know what, at least I have a job. Let me work at making sure my boss is not my enemy. Let me work at making sure that my supervisor, I'm not a headache to that person. You want to learn how to keep your job? Make sure you're not a headache to your supervisor. Make sure you're a resource, an asset. If you don't work for yourself, that's how you win. And then follow up, follow through. Take a vacation. Take a staycation. Love on the people that love on you. Extend grace and smile. You'll be all right. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go because even though it's daylight outside, it's 6:23. My bedtime today. I listen. I'm not staying up past 8. I'm tired and I got a headache, so I'm about to go to sleep. Mind my business. I think I'm gonna eat my little salad and drink my little evolution drink. But I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in to Chanel's Reality. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you like the content you're consuming, hit the notification button. These are all free ways to support my channel. You don't have to do it financially, but it helps me if you care to do so. Have a good one. Till next time. Bye, guys.